you pop champagne at New Year's, or maybe toast the bride at a wedding. Have a party? Break out the booze. Watching a game? Let's have a beer. It's patio season. Let's meet our friends for an Aperol Spritz. For many of us, drinking and enjoying wine and beer are part of our social life, and I can't even imagine it not being. But there is so much conflicting advice out there. Guidelines are changing almost daily. In Canada, for example, we have had a whopping big change in our expert advice telling us how much we should or shouldn't be drinking. Many experts now say that there's absolutely no safe limit to alcohol consumption. In Canada, the new guideline is a maximum of 2 drinks per week. And let me tell you, that has really come down from a previous guideline of 14 drinks for men and 10 for women. In the US, they have slightly different guidelines. Australia different again, France different, the UK different. It's all over the map. The one highest one that I found was in Belgium, where they thought that 20 drinks a week for a man was pretty good. There was a time when I believed that really you only had to worry about alcohol consumption if you had become an alcoholic, and at that point you were worried about liver damage and potential cirrhosis of the liver. But in fact, for decades, the experts have known that alcohol has a direct relation to a variety of cancers, especially breast cancer and colon cancer, as well as those in the neck and head area. Cardiovascular disease and stroke is another high risk related to alcohol consumption. In today's video, I want to talk about what I do, how much I drink. And let me tell you first off, I am no expert and I am not condoning my behavior, and I am not telling you that this is what you should do. But in my case, I've read a lot of different things and I am weighing it out, and I am then deciding for myself if alcohol can fit into my lifestyle. And I like to think that I have a pretty healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to tell you what worries me about alcohol, what I do, and what my consumption is on a weekly basis. For me, the biggest difference that I have found is alcohol affects my sleep so negatively. When I was younger, I used to be able to drink a lot more with seemingly no impact. But since I became menopausal, I'm just telling you, my sleep is ruined from sweats, the night sweats, because the alcohol affects your cardiovascular system and your vessels are dilating, your blood is coming to the surface, and you are sweating. You're dehydrating, but why are you peeing? Well, your body just wants to flush this toxin out of your body, so you're continually being woken up at night. The other thing is, you might find you fall right to sleep, or maybe you just pass out, but you wake up in the middle of the night. And why is that? Well, that's a glutamine rebound. So when you're drinking, your body is not producing glutamine, which you need. Then, in the middle of the night, guess what? The glutamine rebound kicks in, your body starts producing it, and it's a stimulant. So, presto, you're awake. All not good and conducive to a good night's rest. Health Canada is telling me 2 drinks a week. So what are the 2 drinks a week? Well, we have a 5-ounce glass of wine. And let me tell you, I am never happy if I go to a restaurant and this is the glass of wine they give me. 5-ounce glass of wine, a 1-ounce shot. So 1, that's your drink. Or a beer. Now in Australia, they're saying 10 drinks per week, but no more than 4 in a day. Or in the UK, 6 beers or wine in a week. So they have all upped it from the Canadian standard. Many countries have added the caveat that you should have at least 2 days of no alcohol at least per week. So these are our drinks. Are they always going to be created equally? Well, no. Because what about what we mix with those drinks? Or what about the choices that we make within, say, the wine category? There is a huge variety of sweetnesses in wine, and that is really going to impact your caloric intake as well. So not only are we worried about the alcohol, but what about your daily macros? That can go through the roof. when you add drinking into the mix. So is there such a thing as good, better, best in the alcohol lineup? Sadly, no. But maybe we could talk about bad, badder, baddest? Maybe? The alcohol is still the alcohol, but you can make choices with respect to your overall caloric intake and your sugar intake, because there are some like knock your socks off in the field. I hated to tell my husband that the absolute worst drink to drink is probably the pina colada. We're talking 600 or 700 calories in one, thanks to that coconut cream and all of the sugars that are in there. It is really a doozer. You might as well go to the Cheesecake Factory and have a piece of cheesecake without the alcohol, because that is really a treat. I mentioned the wide range of sugars in wines. So when you are shopping for wines, do look for the sugar content per bottle, because there is a wide range. Even on the Prosecco's, huge range. What about the mixers? If you're somebody that drinks gin or vodka or rum, one of those things, the mixer can really put you over the edge. One of the things that surprised me is tonic water. But do you know that in a can of tonic, and I know that you're not necessarily having a can in your one drink, but there's like 130 calories and 33 grams of sugar in regular tonic water. So those kinds of things you can really watch out for. You also do not want to skimp on your meals through the day when you know that you're going to be drinking at night, because that is just going to set yourself up for a worse hangover. It's been reported that the worst hangovers ever are produced by bourbon, which is the highest in something called congeners, which you find mainly in darker colored liquors, such as the bourbon and the darker tequila, dark rum, and whiskey and things like that. This is a substance that is produced during the fermentation process, and your body has to break these down. They are not good, and it takes your body a lot. In fact, they believe that the congeners may in fact be responsible for hangovers in general. So if that's something that affects you, you might want to switch onto a lighter colored liquor. Another myth buster I have for you, sadly, is that tequila is not the happy booze. For a long time, it was reported that tequila was the only liquor that was not a depressant. Untrue. Nothing new here for me to tell you. If you want to try to avoid a hangover, for every drink you have, try to drink 2 of water. The reality is, whatever way we look at it, alcohol is not good for us. But what do? All right, I have learned all of this, and I've still decided that it's a part of my life. We're very social in this family. We have family gatherings a lot. We have parties. We go out a lot. So here's what I do. I don't drink during the week. I don't drink from Sunday to Thursday. And on the weekends, on Friday and Saturday, I'll have a couple of glasses of wine each night. Occasionally, maybe 2.5 glasses of wine. I'm more of a wine drinker. When I do have a cocktail, it will be probably a martini. I don't like to add the sugary fillers and the sugary mixes. I never have mixed drinks like a pina colada. I leave that one to my husband. And you know what? Does that work for me? Well, it still ruins my sleep. Even with just that, it has that kind of an impact. I was really upset to hear when I listened to Andrew Huberman's podcast on alcohol consumption that he really gave it no silver lining. And he says that even 2 drinks a week is chronic alcohol consumption. It's a pretty depressing podcast. I'll put the link in the description for you. Along with the rest of the bad news that Andrew Huberman gave us, he also recommended that we do not preemptively take Tylenol or Advil or aspirin to try to mitigate our hangover. That is just going to send your body into a tailspin, and there's way too much going on. So forget that one. The bottom line is you're going to have to gauge it for yourself. Where does it fit into your life, or does it not fit into your life? Because if it doesn't, that's great. But for me, it does. I feel like I exercise. I feel like I eat well, and I don't smoke. So I think I'm going to carry on and have my 2 glasses of wine on Friday and Saturday nights, maybe 2.5. And I'm going to feel good about it. I'm not going to let them, make me feel bad. So if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.